Hello, I'm CJ Phillip, and welcome to Dance and Bmore's Director's Table Talk.
What you wanna know, where you wanna go, player? Director's Table Talk, ha ha. What you wanna know, where you wanna go?
For several years, Dance and Bmore's Voices of Carmen program has produced a musical adaptation of the opera Carmen set in a high school. This show fuses fresh arrangements of George Bizet's iconic songs with a dozen new songs ranging from musical theater, pop, R&B, and rap. Each summer, we invite Broadway directors and musical directors to join us for conversation and reflection on the creative process. So many have encouraged us with unforgettable pearls of wisdom. And this episode will highlight memorable moments from those talks. Let's take a look.
I went to college as a performance major in piano and I went to Carnegie Mellon, which is a very good theater school. So my piano teacher said to me, don't go to a conservatory. He wanted me to go somewhere where I had a little bit of latitude and I could explore the options. Because like I was saying with you, Kayla, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went to Carnegie Mellon, which was a great theater school. And that's where I figured out how much I loved making music with other people. And then I started doing a lot of theater work as a pianist and an arranger and a musical director. By the time I graduated college, I thought I wanted to be a classical accompanist, and I did it for 1 year. And then I realized I hated it. And by that time, I had already started really doing a lot of theater, and I just jumped one branch to the other branch. So that's how it started.
Luck or God or both. I loved theater, but I'd never done theater. I was in California, and I tried out for the chorus of Porgy and Bess. I got the chorus. And one day I was sitting on a step in rehearsal, and the lady that was doing Bess was from New York. Her name was Priscilla Baskerville. And one day she said to me, my nickname was Chip. She said, Chip, you know, you're really good at this. You should come to New York. I didn't know any better than to believe her, get in my VW Beetle, put a U-Haul trailer behind it, and drive to New York on her word only. Never been to New York. And I arrived September 10th, 1981, and knocked on the door of a Broadway show called Sophisticated Ladies, and asked, was there a girl there by the name of Priscilla Baskerville? And they said yes. And she came to the door and she said, Chip, what are you doing here? I'm like, you told me to come. And I had no training, no nothing. I just showed up because she said I was good. And here I am, I guess 35 years later. I have hired Priscilla to work for me, and she's been a great friend. And that was the beginning of my showbiz story.
When I was a teenager, I didn't even know what I didn't know. It was all new information. So we are clean slates, and Marion and Wendy, feel free. I'll stay unmuted. You can have a conversation with me or with each other or with anybody here to just talk about what preparation and collaboration looks like.
I'm thinking about how preparation is like the long-term preparation that we do in our lives, that we're like training ourselves. And then I'm thinking about the particular preparation that one does for a project that's starting, and how they are not quite the same.
Yes, I think for prepping to get to that show, that's the long work. That's the going to classes. That's studying. That's making sure your body is fit. That's making sure your mind is fit. That's learning how to study your script. If you're an actor, learning how to read, just read. That's the long prep. The prep for that first day, and of course, if you're the musicians, I mean, you would have gone to music school. You would know a 16th note from an 8th note. You would know an 8th rest from a whole rest. You know, all of that's the long study, and that gets you to the day before the new show. I started smiling so much when CJ was setting up that this is the day before the show, I mean, the first rehearsal, because I don't sleep. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still walking around pacing morning can't come fast enough. I'm so excited about the first day of school, as we so call it sometimes in the business. But just the excitement of seeing the actors walk in the room, feeling the energy of the room. It's just so exciting. And I'm excited because I have done the long work.
Yeah.
I've worked a long time to get to this day. Every opening night, day before rehearsal, same thing. I feel confident, but not arrogant about it, because you will learn what you don't know. Even in your long work, you'll discover that you didn't know something, and the actors will teach you that. The MD will teach you that. The choreographer will teach you that. Something that you thought you knew that you really didn't know until you showed up.
I want to unpack this thing about the difference between being an instrumentalist and being an actor, because, you know, you can study your instrument and it's outside of you in a sense, even though you engage with it in a very personal way. But as actors, singers, you're the instrument. And so all the preparation that you do is taking care of your health. It is taking dance classes. It is taking a voice lesson, situation. It is getting into acting classes. However, there's also this element of, at your time of life, you may not have had those experiences yet. And I think that's a big piece of preparation, is like preparing with what you have and where you are, so that if you haven't done formal training yet, the things that are in your power are, I've read my play. I read the play. Or I've been singing a lot with the radio, and I've been drinking a lot of water, and I've been getting a lot of sleep, and I'm eating well because I want my energy to be really consistent. Like, my temple is in a good place, because you're going to walk into the room and then everyone's going to throw everything at you and you're not going to know it. And that's a big piece in our world, is that the fact that you have to come to grips with the fact that you're always going to be not knowing something, and you're always going to be learning. So if you can't be afraid of looking funny or looking silly because you don't know. That, for me, is like one of the biggest pieces of preparation and collaboration, is being okay with not knowing.
What questions do you have that we can include in our upcoming Directors Table Talk? Post them in the comments or email us your question. Like and subscribe to see our next short. And after 3 shorts, the 4th is a full episode of Table Talks, behind the scenes tips, and more. Share this short with your friends, and we'll see you at the next Directors Table Talk.
Don't you wanna know where you wanna go? Directors Table Talk. Don't you wanna know where you wanna go? Directors Table Talk. What you wanna know where you wanna go? Hey, Directors Table Talk. What you wanna know where you wanna go? Directors Table Talk.